Well, thank you for your time. How juicy.
Juicy.
Wa, Suzy, hebu kamwone. Yule dem tulikuwa tunaambiwa.
Kwani amefanya? Hizi shop zote 3 ni zake. Na next door anachukua pia.
Na imagine tuko na haka ketu kamoja tu.
Na ni bodyguards zako na wana.
Nasikia wanamshughulikia everything. ATM zake, credit card zake 24/7.
Hadi usiku.
Kwani 24/7 inamaanisha?
That means anamlipia hata bill zake pia. KRA, NHIF, UEFA. Anafanywa zote akiwa ametulia tu hivi.
Kitu kingine nasikia ni eti so secure.
Kwani kuna banki yake, si mtu kama hizi utakamtoa nenda kwa bank. Nasikia hiyo katu hivi. The whole day kwa tablet akifanywa kila kitu.
Na hapo bodyguards wake ndio umpelekea do kwa majuu.
Unaona wale wawili waso au fanya bulk payments.
Nilisikia ni ati local accounts zake, foreign accounts zake anashughulikiwa.
Aki no wonder business yake imegrow hivyo Lazima kuna banki yake special.
Your banking team is at your fingertips. Go digital. Visit coopbank.co.ke and click on New Internet Banking.
Well, thank you so much for tuning into Maisha Television. This is Maisha Prime. My name is Rida Chebet Kering.
Live from Maisha Television, this is Maisha News Update, brought to you by Rida Kering Chebet.
Welcome. Murang'a High School's Simiyu Robinson Wanjala topped the 2020 KCSE exams with a mean grade of 87.334 points. Of the 747,161 candidates who sat for the exams, 143,140 scored a C+ and above, including 893 who attained the grade of A, an increase from 125,747 in 2019.
The 2020 Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education KCSE exams results has been officially released today by the Education Cabinet Secretary George Magoha, with Simiyu Robinson Wanjala from Murang'a High School topping the 747,171 candidates who sat for the exams, which ran between March 26th and April 21st, 2021, out of which 839 candidates managed to score.
Sharon Chepngeno Terer, female, 87.173, the Kenya High School. You can see even you are clapping more. The fourth one, I will read all the 15. Moriasi Rob Ongare, 87.139, Alliance High School. The fifth one, Mbogwa Esther Washosho, 87.113, Kenya High School.
Ningependa kusema kwamba sikutarajia kwanza. Nilikuwa nikifanya bidii kuanzia kidato cha kwanza na hata shule ya msingi, lakini sikutarajia kwamba ningefika hapa. Nilitarajia tu kupasi, lakini kufika hapa naweza kusema tu Mungu amenisaidia. Kwanza nilikuwa nimejaribu kuhakikisha kwamba sitakuwa hapa nikimtazama, kwa sababu nilikuwa na woga mingi, lakini nikajikaza tu, nikaketi, na tulikuwa tunapata chamcha lakini singeweza kula. Nikasema yangu itangoja kwanza, na kumsikia akitaja jina langu nikakimbia haraka mpaka kwenye televisheni kuona kama ni makosa ama kweli ni mimi, na nikafurahi sana na machozi na kufurahi yote. Na kidato cha 4 wakati ambapo ugonjwa wa corona ulikuja na tukaja nyumbani, na mara nyingi nilikuwa na zile hisia za kufa moyo, kusema sasa sipiti hapa, lakini wakati huo nilikuwa namuomba Mwenyezi Mungu na najikaza tu nikijiambia kwamba siku moja Mungu atalipa ile kazi yote. Na sasa nimefurahi sana kupokea haya matokeo. Hata sijui kama naweza eleza kwa maneno, lakini namshukuru Mungu na ameniwezesha kufika hapa.
According to the Education CS, the class of 2020 performed comparatively better than their counterparts from 2019 despite the effects of COVID-19. Miriam Kipkemoy of Moi Girls High School, Eldoret, emerged the best special needs student with a mean of 84.8 points, with more than 200 candidates with special needs scoring C+ and above, an improvement from 127 in previous year. In this year's KCSE results release, Professor George Magoha has broken the tradition to announce the top most improved schools, with Kaga Girls High School topping the list.
The most improved schools based on the mean KCE grades. And here we have been open to identify the most improved schools. In the same spirit, ladies and gentlemen, of illustrating schools that can add value to students, I now name schools that admitted students with KCPE mean scores that did a commendable job in improving them. And they include extra county, county and sub-county schools. The first one is Kaga Girls School, somewhere in Meru, which is an extra county school, which improved the KCPE index of 22.38 to 73.98 this year. St. Joseph's Girls Kitale improved from 21.22 to 71.57. Kisasi Secondary School, and incidentally, this is the school I want to take that child who was abandoned. I will personally go and look for him and admit him there and get him a scholarship. This Kisasi Secondary School has improved from 20.48 to 68.
A total of 287 candidates will not receive their KCSE 2020 results for cheating, whereby 90% of them were found with examination materials in the exam room, while 45 candidates were found with mobile phones. Maisha TV.
Well, and still on the matters of education, of the 366,834 female candidates who sat for the national exam, the Cabinet Secretary George Magoha said that 652 of them wrote their papers in hospitals after delivery. Magoha said that Bungoma County had the highest number of female candidates who gave birth while sitting for exams, standing at 43 learners. Magoha attributed the increase in student pregnancies to the long school closure in 2020 occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic.
During the presser at Mtihani House in Nairobi, where Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha officially released the 2020 Kenya Certificate of Secondary Examination results today, the CS appreciated fellow government officials for the success of the exercise carried out amid challenges occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic. Magoha thanked President Uhuru Kenyatta for the guidance he provided during the entire examination period. The Ministry of Education has released the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education KCSE examination results for the year 2020, citing Bungoma as the leader in the highest female candidates who gave birth while sitting for exams.
As I celebrate, I also want to castigate our parents in the most severe term possible. That our bodies, which we were given by God through His mercy and grace, are temples of the Holy Spirit. And when the hormones are starting to misbehave in your child, by that time you should have told your child how to control the body. In any case, total of a staggering 652 female candidates sat for KCSE examination in hospitals after delivery. They sat successfully and they have got
Of
their
the
results.
366,834 female candidates who sat for the national exam, Cabinet Secretary George Magoha said 652 of them wrote their papers in hospitals after delivery. Speaking on Monday, May 10th at Mtihani House, Magoha said Bungoma County had the highest number of female candidates who gave birth while sitting for exams, standing at 43 learners. Bungoma was closely followed by Meru, which had 38 candidates, Nakuru, which had 36 candidates, Kisii 36 candidates, and Nandi 31 candidates.
Counties that had the highest number of candidates who sat their examination in hospitals after delivery, the highest is Bungoma, and I want to challenge my PS, my distinguished PS, His Excellency Ambassador Nabukwesi. I am charging you to help me, since we are working together, that at 43, we would want to find out what is happening at that level. And since this is one government, that's why even though he's in the university sector, we are going to work together. I will also get involved there. We must get to the root cause, Dr. Gaturu. Why? Who is it that is hoodwinking our children? Can we persuade the parents to work with us so that you tell the child what to expect? The next county is Meru with 38, Nakuru with 36, Kisii, where the chair of NEC currently comes from. And on that, you have other duties to do. And Nandi, Chariot, even though you are from Kericho, it's near there. We may need your action.
Magoha attributed the increase in student pregnancy to the long school closure in 2020 occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic.
We have noted the number of cases of candidates sitting examinations upon delivery went up in 2020, showing that the long school closure may have contributed. Let me now plead to my daughters and granddaughters who receive their results for the primary school exam, that as they wait to join Form 1 in July, let them have something to do. Let parents help them. We are going to continue to work with my brother and friend, Fred Okengo Matiang'i, right down to the chiefs. And I was instructed.
The education boss also castigated parents for the increased pregnancies among students. The no-nonsense CS said parents needed to offer guidance and wisdom to their children other than money. He told parents that their children do not need money, they need guidance and wisdom.
The ministry will work with all relevant government departments to ensure that we focus on the worst hit counties, like I've said. More importantly, I want to urge parents and guardians to do more than ever before to talk to your child. Your child does not need money. Your child needs your time and wisdom.
He also asked them to spare a little bit of time to talk to their girls.
Does it mean that the girls who are there during my time were animals? Were they not human beings? They carried themselves with dignity because the parents did their work. As you go to look for money to feed the children, can you also spare a bit of time, please, to talk to your girls? They will listen to you.
Maisha TV.
An embattled Samburu Governor Moses Lenokulal was hard pressed to explain as to why the county executive did not put in place procurement plans to spend 307 million to combat COVID-19. Speaking before the Senate Health Committee, the Auditor General further established that the county did not spend 62 million shillings to combat the surging pandemic, given that at the time Samburu residents were affected by the adverse effect of COVID-19.
As conditional grant for COVID-19 emergency response from National Government Ministry of Health. Upon receipt through CRF accounts, the county government appropriated it through supplementary budget 4 for the financial year 1920. Of course, the counties were expected to open special purpose accounts for these funds, given that this happened at the closure of the financial year ending June 2020. it was practically impossible to spend this money within the remaining window for the financial year 1920. Samburu government was not able to open that special account for the COVID-19 Commission of Grants as at that time. The county government, as indicated in the annexures, requested to open the special purpose account at Central Bank of Kenya on 8 July 2020, after receiving a no objection letter that is annexed and indicated by the auditor. The response to our above request is the government on 10th August, that is past July, the audit time. An account was opened by the name Samburu County COVID-19 Special Purpose Account at the Central Bank of Kenya. Account number provided. The management has taken an action to expedite the utilization of these funds by voting the funds in Supplementary Budget 1 of the financial year 2020-2021 to cater for purchase of modern incinerators for COVID-19 medical waste, which have been delivered and now installed. Mr. Chairman, an absorption of these funds, the 30 million KDSP grant as a result of delay in the disbursement, the county government of Samburu received on 10th July after the closure of the financial year 2019-2020 and delay in approval of the County Allocation of Revenue Act, the CARA, you remember, for the financial year 2020-2021, which was approved in October 2020. The funds were budgeted in the supplementary budget.
Workers in the tourism sector in Kilifi County want the government to give them first priority in receiving the COVID-19 vaccination jab, as they say they are at high risk of contracting the new variant. The Kenya Hotel Keepers and Caterers Association chairperson Maureen Awor said that the vaccines for the tourism industry was rolled out in Nairobi but is yet to be effected in Kilifi County. The stakeholders say that they interact the most with foreigners and were likely to be affected by the virus.
The tourism industry was already rolled out in Nairobi, and we are still expecting that we are going to get the vaccination, which we have not been given. Some counties like Nairobi, they had already dedicated some vaccines for the frontline workers in the hotel industry. Nairobi did that, Mombasa did that. But the other counties, like our county, it has not happened yet. I spoke with our CEC of tourism, but she's yet to come back to me.
We are not happy at the moment because we have not been vaccinated. And every time we ask for that, we are told we are not on the first phase. We stakeholders in the hotel industry, we need to be vaccinated. We are dealing with foreigners who are coming on a daily basis, and we would want our staff to be vaccinated.
Sasa inakuja wave ingine ambayo kutoka India ni mbaya sana zaidi. Tungeomba wananchi wa Kenya wasisumbuliwe na serikali. Serikali ina kazi yake na sisi wananchi tunafanya tuwe na kazi yetu. Tuvae mask kwa uzuri, tukiingia majumbani, tuoshe mikono kwa uzuri.
And Eastleigh residents in Nairobi County are decrying the demolitions of shops and a perimeter wall by a private developer who claims to have bought a piece of land. The residents are now calling on the government to intervene as they are worried of their security and their businesses.
So kama tunavyoona hii impunity huyu jamaa amefanya hapa ni ya kuwa amekuja akabomoa hii ukuta with no approval, with no authority yoyote, akaiweka hii structure hapa nje. So sisi kama wakazi wa hapa tunataka serikali intervene. Tumepiga ripoti Pangani Police Station kwa DCI mpaka kwa Chief Enforcement Officer wa NMS, tumewajulisha. We want him to stop doing whatever he's doing here, arudisha perimeter wall vile ilikuwa, and after that we are going to take stand action against any activity, illegal activity ambazo atafanya hapa. So hiyo shida ndo tuko nayo hapa, and kwa kuangusha sasa hii ukuta, he has already compromised security ya estate, number one. Number two, hapa mbele kuna drainage. Mvua kukinyesha tunakuwa na problem sana ya drainage. Kwa sababu gani? Kwa sababu yeye utakataka zinamwagwa hapo nje. Those kiosks about 2 weeks ago zilivunjwa. So I think the guy ni kama alikuwa na preempt isijengwe tena viosk.
Border operators in Trans Nzoia County have been challenged to take up vocational studies that will prove them with hands-on skills as an alternative sources of livelihood as the sector continue to overcrowd and become profitless. This comes as the county grapples with the congestion of the riders in Kitale due to the many school dropouts and jobless youths who indulge in the venture. As a result, the flooded market has seen a reduction in their earnings due to overcrowding. The riders are now asking the county government to disburse bursary funds for Form 4 students to join vocational institutions to acquire technical skills that will improve their livelihood.
Kiongeze wanafunzi wanapomaliza Form 4 tunawapa pikipiki waje kuendesha, hawajaelimika, hawana taaluma ya kuendesha. Hiyo ndio sababu unapata walemavu wanaongezeka kwa boda kwa sababu ya accidents. Mtoto hana elimu ya kuendesha pikipiki, unaona anaingia kwa barabara kwa sababu tu amejua kuendesha tu. Hana ujuzi.
Disburse the traders on ground, they have been disregarding the safety guidelines. The traders, however, expressed their dissatisfaction, calling on the county officials to give them more time to look for alternative spaces to run their businesses. Some of them indicate that they are willing to comply with the set protocols if it means they are able to continue operating at the market. The county insists the decision to ban the market was reached in the effort to combat the spread of coronavirus, and the traders now want a meeting convened to address the matter.
Tomato siko kwa nyumba, sinaosea kwa nyumba, walikuwa wamenunua. Sasa unataka hizo tomato watasiuzia wapi? Tunakuomba kingi, utupatie msaada ndio tuweze kukula.
Sisi hatujakataa mambo ya COVID-19, but kama ni social distance tunaweka na kila kitu wananchi wanaweka. Kinachonisikitisha ama kinachonishangaza, viongozi wetu wote wanasiasa hawajakaa hata siku moja wakamfikiria ule mwananchi wa kawaida.
And now in Maisha business, consumers will from July 1st pay 8 shillings more for a loaf of bread following the introduction of 16% VAT on the commodity. The new taxes contained in Financial Bill 2021, once approved by the Parliament, will also see the cost of borrowing go up 20%.
The ever-thinning revenue sources amid an increasing expenditure at a time the country is battling the COVID-19 pandemic has had the government relocate the strategies as it seeks to raise at least half of the 3.6 trillion shillings budget in this financial year. Unfortunately, for the taxpayer, they will have to bear the burden and pay the ultimate price as the Kenya Revenue Authority seeks to bridge its tax shortfall. Some of the proposals set to see food prices rise significantly should the National Assembly give the proposal a nod. Among the basic commodities that are set to be affected by the proposed taxation measures include bread, whose cost is set to increase as the government imposes a 16% VAT in the commodity. A loaf of bread, which is currently retailing at 50 shillings, will go up by 8%. Infant powder milk also has been targeted. The price is said to go up after the imposition of a 16% taxation. Borrowers will also be hit hard by the new proposal, which subjects loans to processing fee of 20% excise duty. This means lenders will pass the cost to the borrowers, making loans more expensive. In the 2021-2022 budget policy statement, the National Treasury revealed that it was anticipating an over 140 billion shillings rise in interest payment on public debts. This is expected to hit further into the country's revenue. Maisha TV.
Now, and with that, we've come to the end of Maisha Prime. My name is Rida Chebet Kering. Enjoy the rest of the viewing.
is under what we say lock and